Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Today guys, today was absolutely gorgeous, and it was the first day that I officially broke out the shorts, and the weather was nice enough where I could just go out, wear shorts and a t-shirt, and it made me think, hey, summer is right around the corner. We are having some great weather, and it just feels like summer out. And I got a movie in the mail today that is a summer movie that I finally upgraded to Blu-ray after many, many, many years. It's one of my personal favorites, and it was cheap on Amazon. And I thought, you know what? Let's do a recommendation video about summer movies. Movies that either, are about summer vacation or just take place at summer, or just movies that just might not even be about summer, but just have an atmosphere that makes you really feel like, a hot summer day, just full on summer movies. So I have 20, I picked 20 of them out. I might do another one of these videos because I know there are many movies that take place during summer. Some of the big ones I don't even have in this list. It's either one, because I'll do it in my next video if I do this again, or two, I just don't own them. And I want to do everything from my collection, movies that I owned. And I decided it would be kind of fun, do some recommendation videos for just movies that kind of remind you from summer. There's movies in here that are nostalgic to me. There's movies in here that I've only seen, maybe once or twice. And we got a nice variety. We got some horror in here. We got some comedy in here. There might even be some here that are kind of family friendly. We got steelbooks in here. We got DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks. I got a nice variety of all different kinds of stuff. I just thought this would be kind of a cool video. So I have 20 of them. I'm just going to briefly say what they're about real quick and move it along, because we don't want to take too long, because we got 20 of them. It's a lot to get through, and I don't want this video to be ridiculously long. So without further ado, let's get started with some movies that I think are great movies to watch during the summer. And the first one that we have is in a box set. So I'm just going to open up to the movie I am talking about. Bear with me one second. Here it is. And I'm talking about Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window. So this movie is about Jimmy Stewart, who is either I think he's a photographer or a journalist or something. But anyway, he broke his leg in the line of duty, and he's stuck in his apartment with a broken leg. And he lives in New York, and he has a little courtyard in between. There's like three buildings, a building that wraps all the way around. It's got all these apartment buildings and a courtyard in the middle. And anyway, he spends a lot of time looking out the window, and he sees across the way some weird activity going on over at his neighbor's house, and he assumes that his neighbor killed his wife. And this movie just does a great job. It takes to make you feel that how hot it is in those apartments. It's the middle of summer in New York, and Alfred Hitchcock just did a great job of just making you feel like you were there in that super hot apartment, and it's super hot outside. And it was just really, really good atmospheric movie. He really drags you in. I felt like I was scorching hot in that apartment right along with Jimmy Stewart. So it's a great movie. Next up, we have one I've been watching since I was a kid, and that's National Lampoon's Vacation. This is a great road movie. I only did a couple of road trips with my family growing up. Mostly we would just go to places, or we wouldn't go that far. We only would do kind of some road trip type stuff every once in a while, but this movie is a fantastic movie. It's about Clark Griswold. He takes his family on a summer family road trip, and it screams summer and family vacation goodness. I highly recommend it. Next up, we have a movie that's not really about summer. I don't even think it takes place in summer. It might be more spring. But every time I watch this, it kind of just reminds me of like hot summer nights. I don't know why. It's a very atmospheric movie. And that's Sean Penn and Christopher Walken in At Close Range. And basically, Christopher Walken, I think it takes place in a small kind of Pennsylvania town. And Christopher Walken starts getting involved with this small little criminal activities with his father, and things kind of go awry. But they just do a really good job of making you feel like it's kind of hot summer nights. At least I always kind of felt that way, even though I think it actually technically takes place in spring. It feels like it's a summer movie, and it's very good. Definitely check it out. Next up, we have The Legend of Billie Jean. This takes place, I believe, in Texas. And I think it is during the summer. It's just a movie. I've only seen it once, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh man, it just seems like a summer movie. It just seems like it's really hot wherever they go. They spend some time like swimming in the creek, and it reminds me of summer. And basically what happens here is her brother, his like dirt bike gets destroyed by some bullies or whatever, so she goes and confronts the father. The father does some inappropriate shit, and her brother shoots him. Doesn't kill him, but just shoots him, and then they go on the run. And then the news reporters kind of get a hint of this and why she's on the run, and she kind of becomes a legend in her own right. And it is a interesting movie. Definitely check it out. Next up, we have Paul Newman in Cool Hand Luke. This movie is about prison and working on a chain gang somewhere south. I'm not sure exactly where it is. But this movie does a great job of just making you feel like you're hot and sweaty working on that chain gang. Also a very kind of atmospheric movie. It definitely makes you feel like you're right there with them. It's you sympathize with them. You can tell how hot it is. Just the sweat pouring off their faces, and just screams kind of hot summer out in the middle doing hard manual labor. And it's a very, very, very good movie. Next up, we got Jaws. This movie is great. It's a 4K. I'll show you the back. I love that back picture too. And this takes place at a beach town over the 4th of July weekend, and there are shark attacks. Jaws is there and kicks some ass. And yeah, so this movie is definitely 100% a summer movie. Takes place at the beach, small beach town. Definitely a fun summer movie. Next up, we're going to delve into the horror genre. We got the 4K of I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is about a group of high school kids who are driving and accidentally hit a guy, and they think they kill him, and they try to dispose of the body, and the following year, this killer shows up, starts knocking them off one by one, letting them know that he knows what they did last summer. It's a fun horror movie, summer horror movie. Very nostalgic for me. I remember seeing it when I was in high school. Next up, we have this gorgeous steelbook of Point Break. And this movie is about Keanu Reeves, who plays a undercover cop who is trying to find some bank robbers. And he goes and he infiltrates a bunch of surfers and kind of gets in with them and tries to figure out who's robbing these banks. The movie takes a lot of beach scenes, a lot of surfing, a lot of bonfires on the beach, just screams summertime. Excellent movie. Definitely one to watch during the summer. Next up, this is actually from Mill Creek, from their VHS rewind collection, and this is Hard Bodies. I only saw this once. I love how they do this old 80s VHS slip covers too. I don't know if it's just the same artwork underneath. And this is a fun 1980s sex comedy. It's about 3 guys. I think they're retired, and they rent or buy a beachside house, and they hire this guy. I think it's this guy right here in the middle. They hire him. They basically say, you can stay here rent free. Just teach us how to pick up girls. And it's just basically it's a 1980s sex comedy. It takes place at a beach house. Always a good time. Those 80s sex comedies that take place in the summer are usually pretty fun, pretty cheesy. Probably in kind of poor taste at times, but still enjoyable. Next up, we got the ultimate summer camp movie. We got the Friday the 13th with this fantastic artwork on this slipcover. Then under here, you got the original. This is the steelbook with the slipcover. And this movie definitely screams summer. It's summertime. Counselors are getting ready to open up camp at Crystal Lake, and there is a killer on the loose knocking them off one by one at Camp Crystal Lake. I think most people who watch my channel have probably seen Friday the 13th. But if you have not, definitely check it out. In fact, where is it? Do I have it up here? Right here. Actually, any of the Friday the 13th will work as a summer movie because they all take place during the summer. At least I think they do. But the first few actually take place at summer camp. And then later on, some of them do too. And those are the ones that really remind me of summer. Next up, we got Adventureland. This movie was a nice little surprise. It's about a kid played by Jesse Eisenberg who had a nice summer vacation planned after I think he graduated high school, or maybe he might even be done with college, but instead he's got to save up money. I think he has to save up money to go to grad school, and he's got to get a summer job. And so he goes and he works at Adventureland, an amusement park in his town. And I believe it takes place in the 1980s, and yeah, that's pretty much what it's about. It's definitely worth it. It's a pretty good time. Next up, we got Tom Hanks in The Burbs. And this movie, I believe, takes place sometime in summer, but Tom Hanks is on vacation for a week, and he's taking a little summer vacation, a little staycation. He doesn't go anywhere. He's just kind of hanging around the house, and him and the neighbors are convinced that their new weird neighbors that just moved in next door are murderers. And so they try to find out if they are or not. It's a great movie. He's got Corey Feldman, one of Corey Feldman's greatest performances. He's does a really good job. Next up, we got The Way, Way Back. This movie is a lot of fun. This main kid right here, he's kind of forced to go on vacation to this little, I think it's kind of a beach town. And he doesn't really fit in with any of the mom's friends or any of the kids around there. He doesn't like his mom's boyfriend. He's kind of a jerk. He's played by Steve Carell, which is a very different role for him because he's not a nice guy. Not a nice guy at all. So it's kind of weird to see Steve Carell in that kind of role. But anyway, he gets confronted by Sam Rockwell, who works at a water park, and he gets him a job, and they kind of become friends. And it's kind of how he gets through that summer vacation, is spending all of his time working at this water park. It was a nice surprise. It's actually very, very good. I wasn't expecting anything from it, and I thought it was very, very good. So that one is definitely worth your time. Next up, we got Say Anything. John Cusack. This movie takes place in the last day, I think it's graduation, last day of school. And I think it's Lloyd Dobler is his name. And his number one goal is to date a girl that is very popular and out of his league. She agrees to go out with him. And they end up having like a summer romance. And this movie was a nice surprise too. I'd never seen it. When I first watched it, I remember people talking about it, and I watched it, like, whatever, I don't know. And it was very, very good. I definitely recommend Say Anything if you have never seen that. Next up, we have a movie that most people are probably very familiar with. We got Caddyshack. This takes place at a golf course during the summer, and it's about the caddies and the members that play golf there. If you've never seen Caddyshack, just see it. It's a lot of fun. It is absolutely hilarious. Directed by Harold Ramis. I believe it was the first movie he ever directed. I'm going to switch these two around. We're getting down to the final five, guys. Next up, this movie has to be in... When you think of summer, you got to think of this movie for sure. And that's Dazed and Confused, this beautiful 4K from Criterion Collection. And this just takes place over the course of one night on the last day of school, and all of the trouble that the kids get into in this Texas town. Out of school, partying, and first day of summer, and last day of school, technically the start of their summer, and just takes place over the course of one night. It is fantastic. If you've never seen Dazed and Confused, I can't recommend it enough. It's Richard Linklater, great director, great movie. Next up is a movie that, this is the movie that I just upgraded today. I have very fond memories of this movie. I had it on DVD 4 years, and I never got it on Blu-ray because it was always like $15, $16. And I looked last night just because why not? And it was only, I think it was $7.99 on Amazon. $7.99 or $8.99. I was like, I'll pick it up for that. It was overnight delivery. Got it delivered today. That is Dan Aykroyd and John Candy in The Great Outdoors. I have very, very fond memories of this. We took a lot of family vacations to a place called Breezy Point up in northern Minnesota. If any of you are from this area, I'm sure you're very familiar with Breezy Point, or have at least heard of it. And they stay in this cabin, which you can see in the background there. And Breezy Point always had kind of a up north log cabin kind of resort feel to it. So this movie always kind of reminded me of our time going to Breezy Point. I remember seeing this movie for the first time. It was me, my brother, my two brothers, my parents, and I believe my cousin. And we had an old station wagon, and we took it to the drive-in. And I remember we packed like a picnic. I couldn't tell you what other movies played, because I'm sure, you go to the movies, you'd always get like 2 or 3 movies. But I remember this was one of them, and I remember sitting in the back of the station wagon. We had like sleeping bags rolled out. I think my parents were sitting on some chairs. We were eating food and hanging out in the back of the station station wagon watching The Great Outdoors at the drive-in. And that was my first experience with this movie. And I have loved it ever since. It's one of my all-time favorite John Candy movies and Dan Aykroyd movies. And I think it is ridiculously underrated. And I think more people are starting to like it more now. But for years and years and years, this movie was very underrated. It is absolutely hilarious. If you've never seen The Great Outdoors, do yourself a favor and just watch it tonight. I love this movie. I'm a little biased opinion, though. I have very fond memories of seeing it as a kid. It's very nostalgic. Next up, we got another John Candy movie, and I haven't even opened this one, but I've seen this movie multiple times. I picked it up not that long ago. I showed it off in the video, and that is John Candy in Summer Rental. We used to take trips to Florida. We like once or twice, I think, went to Florida when I was a kid. And this movie reminds me very much of my trips to Florida. I think it gets everything right as far as like that whole summer vacation summer vacation feel. You got your small little town that you cruise into. You got your local restaurant that's seafood that's supposed to be really good. Hanging out in the sun all day, showing up at the end of the day all sunburned, getting something to eat. It covers all the bases of a family vacation. If you've never seen this, definitely see it. And look at that total 1980s front cover. I think this is the original poster art. Yes, this movie is fantastic. If you've never seen Summer Rental, very early, very also, I think, underrated John Candy comedy. Definitely check it out. Got two left, guys. This next one, I remember watching as a kid, and that is Christopher Lloyd in Camp Nowhere. Basically what it is you got these kids here, and Christopher Lloyd, I think, works at the mall or something. He's an adult, but he's kind of a kid at heart, not really a big believer in like rules and that sort of stuff. I believe he's an actor too. So he convinces all of these kids' parents that he's like the owner of specific camps that the parents want their kids to go to. And he convinces them all to go to this camp. And where they're actually going is an abandoned like camp that the kids found. I think it's been a long time since I've seen this. But anyway, there's like a vacant camp and they hire him to be like their counselor who kind of just lets them do whatever they want. And I remember watching this as a kid thinking, how awesome would that be to be able to just go to camp and have no rules. I mean, that would just be awesome. But yes, Camp Nowhere is a lot of fun. I should revisit that. I haven't seen that in a very long time. The last movie we have is an absolutely hysterical movie. It's Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray. Just by saying that, I'm sure you guys probably know what I'm talking about. And of course, I'm talking about What About Bob? I don't think this has a Blu-ray release either, and it really should get one. I don't know if it does or not. But basically, Richard Dreyfuss plays a psychiatrist who just starts seeing Bob. And he does one visit with them, and then he goes on vacation. Bob shows up unexpectedly and uninvited, more importantly, and just ruins his vacation. Although the rest of his family loves him, Richard Dreyfuss' character cannot stand him and wants him gone. This movie is hysterical. If you've never seen What About Bob, you definitely need to see it. But yeah, they're on summer vacation. Actually, I think it's the end of summer. I think it's like right before Labor Day. But they go to they're right on a lake. They have a nice house, and it's basically end of summer vacation movie, and it is hilarious. Definitely check it out. All right, guys, we're at about 19 minutes. I tried to keep this as short as possible, but hopefully there's some movies in there that maybe you've never seen or movies that you forgot about that you want to go watch during this summertime. But yeah, I highly recommend every single one of those. They all have a good summer feel to them. Definitely check it out. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for you today. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know you guys like what I'm doing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below. Do you watch any of those movies? What recommendations do you have? Maybe there's some movies that I don't have or that I didn't mention or ones that I forgot about. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below, guys. You guys are amazing as always. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.